They found it by accident. A city that vanished overnight. No war, no plague, no record of its destruction, just silence. For 3,400 years, the greatest industrial empire of ancient Egypt lay buried beneath the sand, 15 feet down, perfectly preserved. The workshops still had tools on the benches, the ovens still had bread inside, and in the center of it all, archaeologists discovered something that changed everything we thought we knew about Egyptian wealth. This is the story of Aten, the lost golden city, and the terrifying reason it was abandoned so suddenly that workers left their gold in the furnaces. What they're finding in the streets is rewriting history, but more disturbing than the discovery itself is what's missing. Entire sections of the city have been deliberately destroyed. Someone wanted this place forgotten. And when you hear what was being manufactured here in these workshops, you'll understand why this city had to disappear. September 2020. Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's most famous archaeologist, wasn't even looking for a city. His team was searching for Tutankhamun's mortuary temple near Luxor, expecting to find maybe a few foundation stones, perhaps some broken pottery. Instead, within weeks, they uncovered the largest ancient city ever found in Egypt. The scale was breathtaking. Entire neighborhoods emerged from the sand, with walls still standing up to 10 feet high. But here's what stopped everyone cold. The city was frozen in time, like Pompeii, except there was no volcano, no disaster, no explanation. In the bakeries, they found massive ovens capable of feeding thousands of workers, with the last batch of bread still inside, turned to carbon after 34 centuries. In the administrative buildings, they discovered mud bricks stamped with the royal seal of Amenhotep III, one of Egypt's wealthiest pharaohs, confirming this wasn't just any city. The industrial heart of the empire during Egypt's absolute peak, around 1350 BCE, when Egyptian gold flowed through the ancient world like water. To understand what makes this discovery so extraordinary, you need to understand who Amenhotep III was. This wasn't some minor pharaoh. This was ancient Egypt's Midas. During his 38-year reign, Egypt controlled the richest gold mines in the known world, from Nubia in the south to the eastern deserts. Foreign kings literally begged him for gold in letters we found, writing things like, "Send gold, as much as sand," and Amenhotep would respond casually, "In my country, gold is as common as dust." He built more monuments than almost any pharaoh before him. The Colossi of Memnon, those massive twin statues still standing at Luxor. Those were just the entrance to his mortuary temple, which was larger than a modern shopping mall. But all that building required something most people don't think about, an industrial machine. You can't construct an empire on the backs of a few workers with copper chisels. You need factories, you need assembly lines, you need an entire city dedicated to manufacturing on a scale the ancient world had never seen. And now, after 3,400 years, we've found it. But here's what breaks my heart, and why I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. In 6 months, they're going to discover something in the royal quarter that will make international headlines. Something about Amenhotep's final days that connects directly to why the city vanished. I'm going to cover it the moment it drops, but YouTube won't show you that video unless you subscribe. Don't let the algorithm steal history from you. Subscribe now, because what they find next will answer questions we're asking today. Walk with me through the streets of Aten as they exist today. The main road is still visible, wide enough for ox carts to pass in both directions, with deep wheel ruts worn into the limestone paving. On either side, workshop after workshop, each specialized in a different craft. In the metallurgy quarter, they found crucibles still containing traces of gold and copper, alongside hundreds of molds for casting jewelry, amulets, and decorative objects. The glassworking district reveals furniture that could reach temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius, producing the brilliant blue faience beads Egypt was famous for. But the most chilling discovery was in the pottery workshops. They found dozens of vessels, perfectly intact, still arranged on shelves exactly as they were left. Beside them, workers' tools, as if someone had just set them down intending to return after lunch. But they never came back. In one administrative building, archaeologists uncovered clay tablets with what appear to be production records, listing quantities of materials and finished goods. Early translations suggest this single city may have been producing luxury goods for the entire Egyptian empire and for export to the Mediterranean, the Near East, and Africa. But who were the people who lived here? The city reveals intimate details of their lives in ways that feel almost invasive, like reading someone's diary from 3 millennia ago. In the residential quarter, they found homes of different sizes, suggesting a class hierarchy: larger houses for overseers, smaller quarters for craftsmen, and dormitory-style buildings likely for laborers. Inside these homes, jewelry, cosmetic vessels, scarab seals, even children's toys carved from wood. These weren't slaves. These were skilled workers, possibly the middle class of ancient Egypt, living lives of relative comfort in service to the pharaoh's endless building projects. In one dwelling, they discovered a burial of 2 cows, a significant sacrifice that suggests ritual practices were only beginning to understand. Another building contained dozens of fish bones and animal remains, possibly a central food preparation area or market. And here's something haunting. They've found what appear to be personal letters written on ostraca, broken pottery shards used as ancient notepaper. One seems to be from a worker to his family, mentioning he'll be late coming home because of rush orders. He never made it home. The question that haunts every archaeologist on site is simple and terrible. Here's where the story takes a dark turn. Based on the evidence, the city wasn't gradually abandoned over years or decades. It was evacuated rapidly, possibly within days or weeks. People took their valuables, but left behind things you'd never abandon unless you were fleeing. Tools of trade that represented your livelihood, religious objects, even food supplies. Some buildings show signs of hasty attempts to preserve them, with doors sealed and walls reinforced, as if people thought they'd return. They never did. The timing of the abandonment coincides almost exactly with one of the most controversial periods in Egyptian history, the reign of Akhenaten, Amenhotep III's son and possibly the most radical pharaoh Egypt ever knew. Akhenaten didn't just change politics, he tried to erase Egypt's entire religious system. He abandoned the traditional gods, declared there was only one god, Aten the sun disk, and moved the capital 250 miles north to a new city he built from nothing. But here's the conspiracy that historians argue about late into the night. What if Akhenaten didn't just build a new capital? What if he deliberately destroyed the old power bases? What if Aten, the Golden City, was shut down not because it was obsolete, but because it represented everything Akhenaten wanted to erase? The old gods, the old wealth, the old order. Now pause the video for just 3 seconds. I need to know something, and this is important. Do you think these workers were relocated peacefully to build Akhenaten's dream city? Or do you think something far darker happened? Something the pharaohs never wanted recorded? Drop your theory in the comments right now, because in 48 hours, I'm gonna pin the most compelling theory and reveal actual archaeological evidence that supports one side of this debate. Your comment could be the one that gets thousands of people talking. And smash that like button if this mystery is keeping you on the edge of your seat, because that tells me you want more stories like this, stories they don't teach in school. To understand the potential motive, you have to understand how insane Akhenaten's religious revolution was for ancient Egypt. Imagine if tomorrow, every church, mosque, and temple in the world was ordered closed, and you were told there's only one acceptable way to worship, dictated by the government. That's what Akhenaten did. He closed the temples of Amun-Ra, the chief god, which were economic powerhouses employing thousands of priests and controlling vast wealth. He defaced monuments, chiseling out the names of the old gods. He renamed himself. He was born Amenhotep IV but changed his name to Akhenaten, meaning effective for Aten. And the city we're discussing? It was originally called the Dazzling Aten. The name itself was a declaration of the new religious order. The workshops of the Golden City produced goods for the traditional temples and the traditional economy. They created amulets of Amun, jewelry invoking Isis and Hathor, ceremonial objects for the priesthood Akhenaten was trying to dismantle. Some historians believe he may have ordered the city emptied and its production halted as part of his religious purge. The workers would have been relocated to Amarna, to his new city, to build monuments only to Aten. But there's evidence of something more sinister. Some sections of the city show signs of deliberate destruction. Walls knocked down, buildings burned. Was this Akhenaten's doing, or did something else happen here? As excavation continues, the mysteries multiply. In 2021, archaeologists uncovered a strange burial within the city walls, highly unusual for Egyptian practice. The skeleton was positioned oddly, and preliminary analysis suggests the person may have died suddenly, possibly from injury. Nearby, they found what appears to be a mass grave with cattle remains, suggesting either a plague that affected both humans and animals, or a mass ritual sacrifice connected to the abandonment. Then there's the zigzag wall. In the southern section of the city, they found a massive wall that zigzags for unclear reasons. Egyptian walls are typically straight and efficient. Some archaeologists speculate it was a defensive structure added hastily, perhaps to protect against looters or invaders as the city was being evacuated. Or was it to keep something in? In one workshop, they found a sealed room that hadn't been opened in over 3 millennia. Inside, dozens of clay figurines in various states of completion, and something that chilled the excavation team. A single figurine that doesn't match any known Egyptian deity. It's humanoid but elongated, with features that seem almost alien. Now, before you jump to ancient astronaut theories, it's likely just an experimental artistic design, or a representation of a god we haven't identified yet. But it adds to the unsettling feeling that permeates this site. This was a place where strange things were happening right before everyone vanished. Beyond the mysteries, the Golden City is revealing revolutionary insights into ancient Egyptian economics that are rewriting academic understanding. For generations, we've been taught that ancient Egypt was essentially a command economy, with the pharaoh controlling all production and distribution. But the evidence from Aten suggests something far more sophisticated. They found what appear to be private workshops with individual makers' marks, suggesting artisans had personal brands. They've discovered evidence of trade networks extending far beyond Egypt. Mediterranean shells used in jewelry, cedar wood from Lebanon, lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, tin from Turkey. This wasn't just production for the pharaoh, this was international trade on a scale we didn't think was possible in 1350 BCE. The city had what we'd now call supply chain management, with specialized neighborhoods for acquiring raw materials, processing them, manufacturing goods, and distributing finished products. One building appears to have been a customs house, or trade administration office, with weights and measures from different regions. The economic model revealed here is closer to Roman commercial networks than to what we thought Egyptian economy looked like. This single city may have generated more wealth than some entire kingdoms of the period. And that raises the ultimate question: who controlled this wealth? If it wasn't entirely the pharaoh, if private enterprise existed at this level, then the political dynamics of ancient Egypt were far more complex than we ever imagined. Today, less than 30% of the Golden City has been excavated. Ground-penetrating radar suggests the city extends far beyond what's been uncovered, possibly covering an area of over 1 square mile. What's still down there? The team believes they haven't yet found the main palace or the primary temple, which would have been the city's crown jewels. There are sections where the radar shows large voids underground, possibly collapsed structures or deliberately sealed chambers that could contain treasures, archives, or more disturbing evidence of what caused the abandonment. Every few months, new discoveries emerge. In late 2024, they found what might be a royal wine cellar with sealed amphorae that could still contain 3,400-year-old residue, analyzable for ancient DNA. The lost Golden City of Aten stands as a monument to human ambition, to the heights of civilization, and to the fragility of even the greatest empires. It reminds us that entire cities, entire economies, entire ways of life can vanish with such completeness that they become legends, then myths, then forgotten entirely. Until one day someone digging in the sand hits a wall that shouldn't be there. What other golden cities lie beneath our feet, waiting to rewrite history? What other stories have been buried by time, by politics, by rulers who wanted the past erased? And this is where I need you to make a choice. Right now, beneath the sands of Egypt, Iraq, Peru, Cambodia, there are dozens of lost cities waiting to be discovered. cities that will change everything we know about human civilization. I'm going to cover every single one as they're unearthed. But I can't do this alone. Every subscription tells me that history matters to you. Every like tells YouTube to stop hiding these stories from people who actually care about our past. And every comment you leave, whether it's a theory, a question, or just telling me which ancient civilization you want me to cover next, builds a community of people who refuse to let history be forgotten. So here's my promise to you. If you subscribe right now, you'll never miss a discovery. Not the golden cities, not the buried treasures, not the mysteries that archaeologists are solving while we speak. I'll be here, turning every breakthrough into a story that makes you feel like you're standing in that excavation pit yourself. The sand keeps its secrets well, but together, we're going to uncover them all. Hit subscribe, destroy that like button, and comment right now. If you could ask the last person to leave the golden city of Aten one question before they disappeared into history, what would it be? I'm reading every single comment, and next week's video might answer your question. Don't let 3,400 years of silence be the end of this story. Let's write the next chapter together.